Alright, so welcome back to the channel. If you've been listening and watching, you know that I do videos mostly about narcissists. I talk about narcissists and all that kind of pertains to relationships with them. This is my own personal experience. I am not a professional. I don't talk politically correct. I talk in like street language. I do swear from time to time. Often I will also put my own little, you know, you want to call it spin on it. I will bring in information or experiences that I have had with narcissists myself, and I try and give like examples and samples and things like that, like different examples of what I went through, and that sometimes will help people understand a little bit more. When you tell a story, sometimes someone else has a similar story where they can kind of connect to that story and it resonates with them. And sometimes that helps you figure out that you're with a narcissist, or maybe you're dealing with a narcissist that you didn't even know you were dealing with. In this video, I want to talk about the narcissist and not having an identity. Narcissists do not have one. They don't have a solid identity. They struggle with that. They do. The reason why they don't have an identity, or they don't have a stable one, is because they kind of struggle with their sense of self. They rely a lot on the external validation that they get from other people. And it fluctuates. Their identity kind of fluctuates, can't even talk, fluctuates based on who they're hanging out with, okay? Who's around them, their environment at the time. So what you're going to get from them depends on, first of all, who they're hanging out with, maybe people that they've dated, maybe people that they look at as important, or whatever that narcissist sees, okay? But the narcissist does not have a true identity. It changes, it really does, it changes. It depends on who they're with. It not only depends on who they're with, it depends on their friends. If they're hanging out with a different group of people, their hobbies and it could be sports teams can change. It could be a lot of things. They may have never eaten a certain food when you knew them. They might not even like that food. And then all of a sudden, when they get to know somebody else, that someone that likes that food, that maybe they're gaining some kind of supply from, all of a sudden they love that food. It's their favorite food. They're cooking it every day. They're researching it. They're looking to cook it more. Okay, this is what they're like. This is really the truth about them. They may not have even ever liked a certain type of music, but when they meet someone that they're getting supply from who likes a certain type of music, all of a sudden they're all about that music. They're like, well, wait a minute. When they were with me, they didn't even like that. Like, they didn't like that at all. Depends on who they're hanging out with at the time. It depends on the environment. Now, narcissists develop a false self, okay? It's like a persona. And that persona is designed to kind of impress other people. And that's how they get admiration. And that false persona protects them from their weak ego, from like this weak kind of self-esteem that they really have. That's why they have to create this other person, which is this identity that they get from other people, okay, that they're getting from other people. They don't have it's as I said in many of my videos, talking about narcissists, explaining this disorder is very difficult. Unless you're a narcissist yourself, it's very difficult to explain what these people are really like. The details, the small details that envelop a narcissist. There is so much that goes into them. But this false identity, this fake identity, this identity that they kind of, it shifts. It does. You might have known them 10 years ago. They might have been a completely different person, right? You meet them again and you're like, wow, they really changed. Wow, that's really unbelievable, right? It's not unbelievable to a narcissist, okay? The narcissist shifts based on kind of like what they think other people want from them also. So if they're dating somebody who dates a certain type of guy who might be clean cut and they like clean cut guys, all of a sudden the narcissist is getting supply from that person. The narcissist all of a sudden will become clean cut. When before they weren't clean cut at all. They were kind of maybe blue collar type, maybe they were more rugged before. They change. They change based on the people around them, and if they think that they can gain more attention from being a certain way, they'll do that. Also, if they're interested in gaining supply from somebody who likes a certain type of person, the narcissist will kind of become that person right before your eyes. And it's really weird how they can change. Literally, what you knew of them years ago is nothing like they're like now. Like, some things might be the same. Like, there might be like one or two things from their personality that's kind of the same, but a lot of what they do and what they like and their hobbies will change. Yes, it's really very, very weird. Narcissists need constant supply, and that means attention and admiration. So, a lot of times to maintain that false self, they will also kind of change their identity from time to time. It's almost like they have multiple personalities depending on who they're with. It's almost like that. It's almost like you're dealing with someone who's got literally different personalities. And it's weird how they can change. I think this is part of their personality disorder, which is 1 minute they could be super nice to you, and then the next minute they are like really rotten to you and just disgusting and like you can't believe your eyes, how they treat you. And they don't care. I did videos about this. They don't care if they hurt you. They don't care if they say something that really is very hurtful. And you come back and say, that really hurt my feelings when you said that. They don't care. They could care less if they don't care about your feelings whatsoever, right? And that, I think, the lack of empathy, I believe, for me, is, I would say, the biggest red flag that's going to kind of let the cat out of the bag that you're dealing with a narcissist, okay? Covert narcissist, is the lack of empathy. But also that solid identity. Like for me, for instance, like I've always been the same type of girl. I've always loved horror movies. I've always been very girly. I'm basically the same. I like all the same things that I liked 10, 15, 20 years ago. Of course, there's more things that I've added to that list of things that I like, but I'm mainly the same. I haven't changed my likes or my dislikes. I didn't take on any weird hobbies or things that I didn't like before based on the person I'm dating. I dated a guy who was a fisherman. I dated a fisherman. He was a fisherman, and he loved fishing. And people up in New England love to fish. That's their kind of like, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like, they're kind of born and bred to do that up there. Everything is seafood, 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 and fishing. And when I met him, I would go with him sometimes, but it didn't make me love or hate fishing more or less. Or I was like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. I used to fish when I was younger, mainly in lakes and stuff like that, and it was fun. I always liked fishing. I found it to be very peaceful, actually. I would always throw back the fish. I would never eat it or anything like that's disgusting, but I always throw back the fish and stuff like that. But he was like a true fisherman, and just because he was a fisherman, it didn't make me start loving fishing. It was just like, I appreciated that he did it. I supported his hobby, or it was more than just a hobby for him. But I didn't take up fishing because he loved it. I just was like, okay, I'll go with you once in a while, once a month or whatever, not all the time, because I don't love it that much. But you're gonna, when you start dating someone, yeah, you're gonna have differences, and they're going to introduce you to different hobbies that they have and different things that they enjoy. And sometimes you're gonna like it, and sometimes you're not. Just because they like something. This is part of that idealization that narcissists do too. Like when they first meet somebody, if that person is into, it could be anything. It could be like uh, collecting turtles. All of a sudden, the narcissist is going to love turtles, and they're going to start collecting them too, and everything's going to be about the turtles, and like, it's true. It's just really how they are. They idolize that person, and they will take upon their hobbies and their likes and their dislikes. It's really true. It's absolutely absurd, but that's what they're really like. They don't have a true identity. And that's also, if you're dating someone and you start seeing this, it's definitely a red flag. It's a total red flag. This might be a little bit difficult to catch on to very soon, though. When you're getting to know somebody and you're just dating somebody, that's why it's so important to get to know someone and talk a lot and communicate a lot. Listen to what they're telling you. Listen to past stories that they tell you, because it's going to show a lot. You're going to learn a lot from their stories and from what they're telling you as to who are they? What are they really about? Because a lot of times their hobbies, the way they spend time, is going to depend on the person that they're idolizing at that moment. So it's very important that people understand that. I understand it, but I didn't then. I didn't even know anything about this. I do now, and it makes complete sense to me because I've seen it. Trying to talk about it like, yeah, they will discard identities as well. Like the person that they used to be when they were with you, they just discard that. Like after they stop dating you. So let's just say, for me, for instance, okay, I'm a very I love horror movies. I love like Halloween and horror movies and scary movies and um what else do I like? I love nature. I love animals. I love going to parks. I love hiking. I like being outside a lot. I like experimenting. I like cooking. I love trying different foods. Food, within reason. Nothing spicy or smelly. I mostly Italian food. I love Italian food. I also like Spanish food. That I've recently been to some Spanish restaurants that are really good food. So I love, from Spain, by the way, from Spain. Um, but I do like Portuguese food as well. There's some Portuguese dishes that I've had that are really good as well. Not a lot, a couple with that. But I do like to taste different things. I like to experiment. I love science. I love history. I love learning. And I love movies. Horror movies is like my main, but I love all movies. Yeah, like if I was like, someone's gonna ask me what's your favorite genre, yes, it's gonna be horror. But I also love dramas. I love mystery. I love thriller. The only type of movies I really don't like are, I don't like sci-fi movies, and I don't like I don't know, what are those movies like? Like movies like Star Wars, that just doesn't, I don't care for that. I don't like that. I don't like sci-fi movies, and I don't really like, there's like musicals. I'm not really into musicals, although I do love Oliver. The movie, that Christmas movie, Oliver, is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I love Oliver. There are some musicals that I like Annie was a big one. I like Oliver. I like a lot of British um, movies and TV. I have a, I don't know, something with the British, and I don't know why I do, but I do like a lot of British TV, a lot of British movies and things like that. But anyway, getting back to the identity, the narcissist, yeah, they will discard the identity that they were when they were with you, and the person that they're idolizing next, they will start liking what they like. It's really the way it is. So when you see them again, they're not really that recognizable. You're like, wow, like you've really changed, right? You're like, wow. It's not because they've formed like this new love for this stuff. It's just that the person that they are idolizing at the moment is into that, and that's what they like. They kind of like, well, copy what the other person likes. It's really weird with them. It's really strange. But I've observed it. I've seen it happen. So it's weird. Yeah, it's really kind of crazy, but it's really how they are. They don't have a true identity. The person, like, I'll talk about my ex. Like, when I first met my ex was really a different person altogether. He was really nice. He was still had a sweetness to him. He wasn't completely rotten yet. He was still kind of still nice. He had a little soft spot to him. Mainly blue collar. Yeah, blue collar, which is what I liked. Strong and rugged type guy. But he loved to cook. And which I also like to do. He was very good at it. Very, very good at cooking. And he was still sweet. And as time went on, that's gone now. Like, he's not even like that anymore. But he was more, I don't know what the word is. He was just different. Maybe because he was younger. But he was just more, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't contaminated yet by other people. I don't know. It's hard to say, I can't really judge. I don't really know him well enough right now to even judge that, but I do sense a difference. And yeah, because his identity had changed based on everyone that he has dated since me. It's changed, and it's kind of evolved, and it's kind of been, remade, because he doesn't have a true identity. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video about narcissists do not have an identity. And I'll probably be back with another video soon. I did dye my hair. Yay! So my hair is not gray anymore. I don't have any gray hair. No more gray roots. So I will be back probably at the end of the week to do a shopping video. Maybe. We'll see. That's it for now.